Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin Nguyen. I'm Vietnamese. I have been in Fairbanks, Alaska for 10 years. I really like to live here. The people here very friendly. I have no experience working with human security. Hopefully, with the thing I have learned from the F461 Human Security in Alaska class, I will have useful sharing that you will welcome. The community that I choose for my representation is Ruby Village. Ruby is a beautiful town and also a very ideal place to live. Ruby is about 50 air miles east of Galena and 230 air miles west of Fairbanks. Ruby is located on the hillside and is surrounded by hills on the three sides. East end of the town faces the river with high cliff. It is about 260 miles up the Yukon River by boat and then another 200 miles by boat to Eklutna. There are about 150 people in Ruby. The town is very small, but sometimes there are more people than people come from the creek or summer camp. The climate is very cold in the winter, with temperatures dropping to 60 below zero. However, the summer are very warm. The climate in the summer is sometimes very hot. The Yukon River no longer reaches as long as it's one dish, and travel is more limited due to dangerous conditions.
Hi, my name is Ginger De Lima. I'm from Ruby, Alaska. It's a couple hundred miles west of Fairbanks. Population is about 100. Mining village used to be, it's on the south bank, and all traditional native villages are on the north bank because they get the winter sun. As far as food and subsistence lifestyle, there's caribou, moose, bear for food. And in the summertime, there used to be king salmon, but there isn't anymore. There was a moratorium, and then they just decided that they weren't going to let us fish salmon at all anymore, ever, because they disappeared. There's no escapement that goes to. A lot of the fish go all the way up the Yukon River. They start coming from the ocean, and they're about perfect right in mid Yukon, and then they go all the way up to Canada. And they cut us off from fishing because there's no more fish. There's a combination of things going on in the ocean, climate, ocean temperatures, everything is changing. So besides salmon, we have sheefish, grayling, dolly varden, 3 different types of whitefish. You can fish through the ice. You can fish in the fall time when the sheefish they traditionally follow the salmon up. People are starting to process the whitefish now since we don't have the salmon.
Alaska Native community in general, and those living in Ruby Valley in particular, who often rely heavily on wild foods for culture, spiritual, and food security reasons, are particularly vulnerable to their impact. Climate change could exacerbate exciting food insecurity issues and create new challenges for the community. Alaska Native, including those in Ruby Valley, have a long history to relying on salmon fishing for subsistence and cultural practices. However, significant decline in salmon population, particularly Chinook salmon, have led to need for tighter regulation. In April 2024, a moratorium on Chinook salmon fishing came into effect, lasting for 7 years until 2030. This agreement involves both the United States and Canada and is aimed at restoring Chinook salmon stock and ensuring healthy population in the future. The restriction affects all communities along the Yukon River, including Ruby, and have caused significant hardship for some families who depend on salmon fishing for their livelihood.
So there still is a lot of food out there. Of course, you have to have the money to go get it if you're going to be, you have to have a boat, a vehicle, snow machine. It takes money to go get this stuff. And there's a lot of government programs now where you're subsidized for stuff. So people don't truly live 100% subsistence anymore.
Food security is affecting Ruby, Alaska, both now and in the future, mainly due to climate change and too much dependence of state on import food. Climate change can interrupt the hunting activity to make a living, which is very important for food security in many Alaska communities, and can also affect the comfort of traditional food. Moreover, the state dependence on import foods make the state susceptible to supply chain interrupt, which can worsen food insecurity. Showing food security issue in Ruby, Alaska, and similar rural community that include a multi-faceted approach focusing on increasing local food production, improving access to food support program, and adapting to the impact of climate change. Solutions include supporting local cultivation initiatives, expanding the food banking network, and strengthening existing programs such as summer food service program.
Lifetimes are completely changed now. Ruby was a big thriving village, and this is happening in every village right now. That people are leaving for education and not returning back home because there's no jobs. When you're in a village, the jobs are postmaster, store, native corporation, school, fuel company, and if you have your own business, which can be difficult, the source of income is not as big as it used to be. But people are still thriving out there. It's just a lot of young people are not coming back.
We need solutions to support food security for Ruby, Alaska. Supporting local farm and agriculture training program can also contribute to creating a better recovery system. The use of programs such as summer food service program and national school lunch program, summer option, can ensure that children can access nutritious meals during the summer months. It is necessary to develop agriculture activities that are resistant to climate and adapt to changing seasons. Supporting indigenous agriculture programs can also help maintain traditional food sources and enhance food security in remote communities. This may include the use of creative transportation methods, such as air or waterway transportation, and enhancing cooperation between food bank, retailer, and local manufacturer, including the provision of financial incentive for local farmers, expanding access to food support programs, and investing in research and developing agriculture farming methods adapting to climate change. Food security means having continuous access to enough food, as well as ensuring that food has nutritional values for healthy life. The state of Alaska and the Ruby community work together to protect the managed food and resources. Together, we work to promote food security and sustainable practices. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.